You are listening to a story on Sirio Stories, where your IQ is always respected. Enjoy the story. When Lily, this month, mentioned divorce to me for the 20th time, I frankly requested that she pay me $1 million as a separation fee. However, just the day before we were scheduled to file for divorce, 18-year-old Lily unexpectedly appeared before me. Her innocent and pure eyes were filled with helplessness. Can you help me? I only have you. On the large screen in the square, entertainment news was playing. There was a photo of top idol David and a girl holding hands. The girl's face was covered, but I recognized her with one glance. It was Lily. I knew every detail of her hair by heart. One is the most powerful businesswoman in Puebla. One is a currently popular male idol. This scene was exactly like those in early-stage novels. I looked at the photo and felt even more confused. Lily had been married to me for 5 years. Distracted, my phone vibrated, pulling me back to reality. It was 2 text messages from Lily. Divorce. If you don't agree, I won't give you a single penny. This was the 18th text message this month about divorce she had sent me. My hand unconsciously scrolled through old messages. All of them were one-sided concern and pleas from me. Are you hungry? Come home for dinner today. Sophia said she misses you. Come home and visit our daughter. Sophia is sick. She has a fever. She called her mother and said she wasn't feeling well. Can you pick up Sophia? All received no reply, with no exceptions. For nearly a month, the only messages from Lily were the 2 words, divorce. She was eager to escape me, to grant someone else a proper title. Those 2 cold words plunged my emotions to the bottom. She disregarded our marital affection and didn't care about our daughter's life. Lily and my daughter's name is Rihanna. They haven't seen each other for a long time. Lily seemed to have completely forgotten her promise to Rihanna and me. I took a deep breath, no longer looking at the big screen. As I turned to walk away, I unexpectedly bumped into a girl. I rubbed my chin, looked up. It turned out to be Lily. No, not Lily. The look in her eyes was completely different from the ambition in the current Lily's eyes. She suddenly grabbed my wrist. I finally found you. She was wearing a thin white dress, the dark circles under her eyes showing a little fatigue. But the clear gaze, unique to 18-year-old Lily, astonished me. How could there be someone so identical in the world? I widened my eyes, unable to believe what I was seeing. Could it be a time travel? A rebirth? A time anomaly? A series of hypotheses ran through my head. But facing her eyes, I was temporarily speechless. We sat in a coffee shop. Initially, I didn't intend to pay attention, but she held my hand tightly, refusing to let go. In a public place, arguing with a girl this age wasn't easy. So I led her to a quieter coffee shop. The much younger Lily still stared intently at me, making me extremely flustered. I turned away, not daring to look directly into her burning eyes. Can I tell you what's bothering me? The girl was a little embarrassed, rubbing her nose, but her expression became more excited. It sounds unbelievable, but I am Lily from 10 years ago. I just turned 18 this year, and I don't know how I got here. I don't know how to go back. I could only find you because I only wanted to see you. My reason told me this was utterly illogical, but my heart prevented me from uttering a word. Too similar, and the affection in her eyes almost made me break down. But I quickly regained my composure. After a few years of marriage, I had experienced enough trivialities, and my emotions had become numb. Is everything you said true? What if I don't want to get involved in this? Take care of it yourself. I have things to do. Having said that, I was about to stand up and leave, to let the future handle it. But immediately, Lily rattled off a series of information that stopped me in my tracks. I really am Lily. Your name is Thomas. You like to eat cilantro, hate onions. You hate all tomato-flavored snacks but really like fresh tomatoes. You're allergic to eggs. You can't eat egg tarts. You can't eat lobster, and you don't eat seafood. The person you love the most is Lily. The person I love the most is you. She spoke every detail, from preferences to tastes, all precisely correct. When proud, her eyebrows raised like a small puppy awaiting my praise. But the more I listened, the more bitterness I felt. I hadn't heard these words in a long time, while this year, the words I heard most were from the current Lily saying, Thomas, please don't be so dramatic. Can you stop making a scene? At the moment of divorce, my nerves were frayed. I subconsciously sat back down. The girl opposite noticed my emotional shift, her eyes full of love. I didn't dare to look directly, taking a sip of coffee to pretend to be calm. You're wrong. Actually, the person I love the most is money. Lily froze, then smiled softly again. Is that so? I've already earned a lot of money for you. Yes, she is very rich now. Clothes, shoes, watches, all are limited editions. We often live with our daughter in a multi-billion-dollar villa. Over the years, Lily's career has grown increasingly busy. I have endless money to spend, but my heart is empty. Lily started coming home less and less. Seeing too many young, vibrant men, she began to hate everything about me. She forgot that I once went through the toughest times with her. We once squeezed into a rented house for $50 a month, eating instant noodles. I saved money to buy her a dress worth hundreds of dollars, just so she wouldn't look too shabby when meeting clients. As for me, I only wore a pair of sneakers that had been patched up many times. I saved money to buy her expensive cosmetics and skincare products. I hoped that my woman could reach higher places, shining brilliantly. Yet, in the end, she only said one sentence. Thomas, you are not young anymore. Meanwhile, Lily was surrounded by a swarm of enthusiastic, younger men, actively flirting with her. When the passion of our marriage faded, she only wanted to quickly break free from me. Thoughts flooded my mind. I unconsciously turned to look out the window. Lily's voice was still ringing in my ears. Her voice was still warm. But I no longer had the presence of mind to listen. Lily's appearance brought back all my memories. Outwardly, I was calm. But my eyes were uncontrollable, forcing me to close them. Taking a deep breath, I opened my eyes to stop the tears. Seeing my silence, Lily was a little anxious, asking, "What's wrong? Are you not well?" I shook my head, not wanting to say anything. The atmosphere was somewhat cold, and Lily began to search for things to talk about. Thomas, have you achieved your dream yet? Have you become a great lawyer? By now, how long have she and I been married? Probably 5 years. Because that's what we had agreed upon. Thomas, do we have an adorable daughter now? Do we keep a cat? You want me to guess? We must have bought a really big house by now. She spoke with increasing excitement, while I felt choked up. Suddenly, an alarm clock went off. I took a deep breath to calm down. I have to go pick up my daughter. Lily immediately became cheerful. We definitely have a princess. Go quickly, don't waste time. I didn't say anything. Because Rihanna was the most important thing. I walked quickly. My daughter is now my entire motivation. It seemed that to avoid scaring Rihanna, Lily didn't follow me, which made me feel relieved. In the final stage of my life, I only wanted to be with Rihanna, quietly enjoying the last days of my life. Yes, I am dying. When I learned that I had a hereditary disease and wouldn't live past this year, I gave the housekeepers long-term leave and resigned from Lily's company, staying home as a full-time homemaker. This gave Lily more freedom. She even said, "Staying home is right. Your education is irrelevant, and you can't help me with anything anyway." One sentence negated everything. I didn't argue. I started taking my daughter to and from school every day, and personally cooked for her. I tried to memorize everything about my daughter. Even the lines on her palms, I wanted to engrave them in my memory. I both regretted my own fate, and had to try to plan my daughter's future. I bought a house in Puebla, in which I placed all the gifts for my daughter until she turned 30. The result of a few months of careful thought. I can't accompany her as she grows up, but I want her to always feel her father's love. On her path to maturity, I didn't dwell on Lily's betrayal, because I needed to think more about my daughter's future. What will happen to her if I die? What if Lily doesn't love her? While thinking that, I arrived at the kindergarten gate. Rihanna skipped toward me, innocent and radiant. Her smile and the dimples at the corners of her mouth looked exactly like Lily's. Seeing my daughter, my despair vanished. I truly raised my daughter very well. Rihanna saw me, first craned her neck to look behind me, then lowered her head slightly disappointed. Why didn't mommy come to pick me up today? It's my birthday today. My nose suddenly stung. I hugged her, gently comforting her. Be a good girl, Rihanna. Mommy is earning money to buy you a princess dress. Today is my daughter's birthday. But Lily is showing affection for someone else in the newspapers. She seems to have forgotten Rihanna. In my arms, Rihanna suddenly went from disappointment to excitement, crying out, "Mommy, Daddy, I see Mommy." The little girl jumped up, waving her hand. I froze, suddenly remembering the Lily I had just met. Turning back, I saw her smiling at Rihanna. Rihanna waved enthusiastically, she responded warmly. A few cars driving between them didn't affect the father-daughter moment. Rihanna called out, "Mommy is busy, I'll go home with Daddy." Seeing my daughter happy, my heart ached again. It turns out that just meeting her once can make the child happy. I had never told the truth. But today Rihanna was especially active, talking more. She told stories from kindergarten, waving her hands and feet everywhere. We held hands and walked home. As soon as we got home, there was cake and gifts I had prepared waiting on the table. The gift was a rose necklace I made myself. Rihanna loved it, putting the necklace on and spinning around in place, muttering as she spun, "I wish Mommy were here." She took a nice picture with my phone, saying, "Daddy, send it to Mommy to see." I smiled, taking a few more shots. My daughter is so beautiful. But I didn't press send to Lily. When did I ever have to hesitate to send her a message? I lit the candles for my daughter, turned off the lights, watching my daughter clasp her hands to make a wish. Rihanna, wearing her crown, wished that in the new year, both her parents and she would be healthy. The little girl blew out the candles, the room suddenly went dark again. I stroked her head, stood up to wipe my tears, then turned on the living room light, only daring to look down, not daring to look at her face. "Rihanna, if Daddy says something too late, will you blame him?" I cut the cake, placed it on a plate, and handed it to Rihanna. The little girl ate happily. I also felt happy watching her, smiling, smearing a little cream on her face. Rihanna pouted, adorably whining. Extremely cute. Clack. The villa door swung open. Lily returned. She held a box in her hand. The scent of perfume still lingered on her. The perfume whose brand she represented. Rihanna didn't understand those things. She ran over like a flash of lightning and hugged her mother's leg. "Mommy came home to play with me for my birthday." Lily bent down and hugged her daughter. "That's right, Rihanna." The little girl happily waved her arms and legs. But I saw the moment Lily froze. She actually hadn't remembered today was Rihanna's birthday. Rihanna leaned into her arms, smiling brightly. Lily seemed a little impatient, glancing at her watch occasionally. I looked out the window and saw a car parked in front of the villa, with a man inside. It was David. I wanted to get angry, but the doctor said I should minimize anger, so I could live longer, so I could stay with Rihanna longer. I suddenly remembered 3 years ago, when Lily was just starting her career. She was very tired, sometimes having to work late into the night at the office. I loved her, so I took over some of her work. Sometimes I cooked her nourishing soup, and she would say I was the one who needed nourishment. "Rihanna is still small, and you're always working and taking care of her, you're more exhausted." I loved her, and she loved me too. Once, Rihanna threw a tantrum, whining. It was the first time I felt the fatigue of being a father. That day, Lily came home late, very tired. And when she arrived, she saw Rihanna and me silent, the cake on the table untouched. Lily didn't say anything. She hugged Rihanna and explained, "Rihanna, even though you are your parents' child, Mommy and Daddy still have their own jobs and interests. But Daddy spends so much time with you now. How can you be mad at him for something so small? Listen to Mommy, apologize to Daddy." Rihanna's eyes turned red, and she ran to hold my hand. "Daddy, I'm sorry. I won't make you sad anymore." I was truly lucky to marry a wonderful, understanding wife. That night, my family gathered together, talking for a long time. I once thought we would always be this happy. Who knew everything would change so fast? A year ago, Lily used work as an excuse, not coming home often. When she occasionally returned, I saw wrinkles on her clothes. The newspapers at that time reported, "Famous Puebla businesswoman and star David are dating." But I didn't believe it. Looking at them holding hands in the photo, I still refused to give up. I didn't believe the girl I cherished would betray me. Didn't believe nearly 10 years of affection would vanish. So I secretly followed Lily, and discovered she was at a suburban villa, kissing David once. Then the two of them intertwined and went into the villa, leaving me alone to inhale the night wind. Coincidentally, my phone vibrated, a text from the doctor. "Mr. Thomas, the test results are out. It's a family genetic disease. You might not live past this winter." That day, I drove to a nearby field, staying alone until morning. But I didn't dare to knock on the villa door. We are both adults, I knew what was happening. What a coincidence, betrayal and death appeared at the same time. I clutched my chest, feeling a despair I had never known. When I pulled myself back to reality, my daughter opened the food container, happily discovering lobster inside. Rihanna wouldn't smile if she knew I was allergic to seafood. I nodded, and she began to eat. Because my daughter's health is not good, I carefully select all her meals. This lobster, looking at the packaging, is from a 5-star restaurant downtown. The shrimp was thoroughly cleaned. I felt safe letting her eat it. Rihanna ate happily. Sometimes oil and grease clung to her mouth, and I silently wiped it for her. I only wished she would always be this happy. Thomas, why aren't you eating? Lily, who was texting David, suddenly said that. I was silent. She was a little impatient. I brought it for you, and you're not eating? I remained silent. Perhaps the lobster was too delicious. My daughter ate half of it in one go. Rihanna was full and stood up to wash her hands. I asked the thing I wanted most. If we divorce, will you take care of Rihanna? Lily paused her texting for a moment, then casually replied, I usually see you treat Rihanna like a treasure. Now you want to live freely alone? I felt like I was dying. Lily unexpectedly smiled. Too bad, you don't eat lobster. This lobster was leftover from David and me. I thought you would eat it. I looked at Lily in disbelief. This gleeful, petty demeanor was completely alien. I said, choked up. We've been together for 10 years. She curled her lip, nonchalant. 10 years together is not 10 years in love. I don't love you anymore. Thomas, can you please stop living in the past? My daughter had just finished washing her hands, and sensing the atmosphere between Lily and me, she anxiously pulled on my sleeve. I stroked her head and said, Good girl, time for bed. I carried Rihanna into the room, and heard the sound of Lily closing the door outside. She rarely came home, yet today she returned just to humiliate my daughter and me. I once thought that when I passed away, as long as Lily took good care of Rihanna, it would be enough. But not anymore. She has completely changed. The Lily in my memory has vanished. I placed my daughter on the bed, held her in my arms, and lulled her to sleep. Looking at her small, peaceful face, my tears finally flowed out. At 18, Lily once spoke of her dream of marrying me. At 28, Lily wanted a divorce, using every means to humiliate me. We first met on the school grounds. I vaguely remember her face flushing, trying to ask for my contact information. At that time, she was so flustered she couldn't speak. But I wasn't much better. She was the school's precious daughter. Looks, academics, family, everything was excellent. Due to my family background, I had an inferiority complex. But Lily always encouraged me to step out of the shadows of my family. With her by my side, I gradually became optimistic and cheerful. We often held hands, becoming the most beautiful sight on campus. People say beautiful love makes people better. The longer I was with Lily, the more certain I was that she was the one I loved the most. The turning point came in our final year of university. Lily's father was framed and sent to prison. In just one night, Lily went from a precious daughter to a criminal's daughter. She was even harassed by creditors demanding money at school. She became quiet, avoided me, and even suggested breaking up. I just held her in my arms. Lily, I will help you get back on your feet. I had nothing to lose. So once I committed to Lily, I had nothing left to fear. I gave up the job offer at the law firm, choosing to stay by Lily's side and start a business with her. At that time, we were very poor. I sold everything valuable, even the house my mother left me, betting everything to be with her. When we were at our poorest together, our combined assets were only $5. It was our 5th anniversary. We bought a bowl of wonton soup and shared it. I drank the soup, leaving all the wontons in Lily's bowl, looking at her with eyes full of apology, hating that my poverty made her suffer with me. Gradually, her eyes reddened. It was the first time I saw Lily cry. But how could I blame her? My mother passed away, leaving a house, and everyone around me schemed to take possession of it. They flattered me, but only to steal my property. When they saw I wasn't easily swayed, they began to threaten me. My body was covered in injuries. But Lily was the only light in my dark world. She saved me, a person who had long been unloved. So I was willing to dedicate everything to help her. Now she has succeeded. But there is someone else by her side. I once asked her why she changed. She just looked at me with cold eyes. You're already 28. That's right, I'm 28 years old. I've been by her side for 10 years. In terms of appearance, I cannot compare to the rising young stars. 10 years have passed, I have run out of loving words. Unable to compete with the young guys who know how to charm. Sometimes I think, if I had known at 18 that Lily would be like this, perhaps I would have chosen never to see that light. To forever live in the nightmares of my childhood. And 18-year-old Lily. If she knew that 28-year-old Lily would treat me like this, what would she do? The image of meeting Lily earlier that day flashed through my mind. Would she kill the current Lily? Or would she find it inevitable? In the following days, when picking up Rihanna, I often saw 18-year-old Lily. She was mixed in the crowd, watching my daughter. Sometimes Rihanna would see her too. And the two passers-by would wave to each other. When Rihanna didn't see her, the little girl was a bit disappointed. I understood that the current Lily's affection for Rihanna was not much. So I started looking for a way out for my daughter. Perhaps I should divorce Lily and leave the assets to my daughter. As for the child, entrusting her to my close friends would be better than leaving her to Lily's care. I decided to text Lily for a divorce, demanding $1 million in assets. Half a day later, she replied, "So greedy. But I didn't care anymore. All I needed was to be free from her." I cooked a hearty dinner for my daughter, sat at the table, and watched her eat. "Is it good, honey?" The little girl nodded, eating happily. I added a piece of spare rib to her bowl. Rihanna took a bite and frowned. "Daddy, I think you added a little too much seasoning." I tried a bite, and suddenly froze. I couldn't taste any flavor anymore. My chopsticks fell to the floor. I tremblingly bent down to pick them up. But my heart was aching in spasms. My daughter was startled, but was a step faster, picking up the chopsticks and running into my arms. "Daddy, why is your face so white?" I suppressed the pain, stroked her head. "Daddy just didn't get enough sleep, let's eat." Rihanna kissed my cheek and continued eating. I silently watched her, never tiring of the sight. Suddenly, Rihanna spoke. "Daddy, there's a parent activity this week. Mommy and Daddy both need to go. I wonder if Mommy is free?" She couldn't hide the anticipation on her face. I didn't know what to say. Lily no longer loves us. Rihanna seemed to sense something, and lowered her head. "It's okay, Daddy can go alone." I stroked her head, gently. "Mommy probably wants to go with you too." The image of Lily flashed in my mind. She's only 18 years old. But never mind, I haven't seen her for a few days. She must have returned to the past. The next day, after dropping my daughter off at school, I unexpectedly saw 18-year-old Lily. Having not seen her for a few days, she looked noticeably thinner. She walked up to me. I was about to ask something when she spoke first. "Thomas, Lily, she's cheating." I just looked at her in silence. 18-year-old Lily suddenly became agitated. "Impossible, I can't cheat." "Thomas, did you notice anything strange at home? Maybe Lily has a terminal illness. How could she possibly love someone else?" She waved her hand forcefully, grabbing my arm. A wave of dizziness rushed over me. The world seemed to spin. When I regained consciousness, I was still in the hospital. Lily looked at me, her face sorrowful, her eyes red as if she had been crying. She gave me the lean pork and preserved egg porridge I liked. "Eat, don't stay hungry." The 18-year-old girl couldn't hide the thoughts in her heart. Her voice tried to sound calm, but her frowning forehead betrayed everything. I sighed, inadvertently glancing at the clock. It was past 6 p.m. My daughter had finished school. A surge of anxiety rushed over me. I was about to pull out the IV needle when Lily stopped me. "I've already picked up Rihanna, just rest assured and finish the infusion." Lily at 18 was truly well behaved. I looked into her sincere eyes, not knowing what to say, and lowered my head to hold back tears. Lily cried before I did. "Thomas, what should I do? How can I save you?" She covered her face, not daring to look at me. "The doctor said my body was almost at its limit. Why couldn't I save myself?" She was panicked, blaming herself. "If only I knew medicine, there would definitely be a way to save you." I tried to comfort her, but a fit of coughing erupted. Lily quickly handed me a tissue to wipe my mouth. I coughed up blood for 5 minutes. She looked at me, her eyes filled with both heartache and despair. I wanted to be angry at her, but I couldn't. I held her hand. Just then, the phone rang. It was the other Lily calling. I was about to turn it off, but she snatched the phone and answered. Her voice rang out from the other end. "Thomas, the divorce agreement is on your desk." Sign it and feel free to send me the notice. Why don't you want to divorce anymore? I wanted to scold her, but my throat was constricted. Lily sneered. You are truly shameless. The phone on the other end was silent for half a second, followed by a young, teasing voice. Found a new home? Before I could react, the line was cut. I pretended to be calm, reassuring myself. It's okay, I have $1 million, which I will leave to Rihanna. 18-year-old Lily looked at me, giving a strained smile. I'm sorry, Thomas. I smiled, but being too thin, the smile looked somewhat terrifying. She is not at fault. I cannot blame 18-year-old Lily for 28-year-old Lily's betrayal. I do not doubt her true feelings. I only regret that true feelings can change so quickly. She hugged me tightly, not saying a word. I felt my back soaking wet. Her tears were falling. She mumbled, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I raised my hand and gently patted her back, not knowing what to say. When the nurse finished removing the IV needle, I smiled at Lily. Thank you, but I really have to go now. She was worried, and only left after seeing me off to the gate of the new residential area. I watched her back, recalling the romantic moments during university. Because we once truly loved each other. I could never accept Lily's change. I know that I am nearing the end of my life. But I didn't want to stop there. Returning home, I saw my daughter diligently doing her homework. Pouting adorably, cute to the point where I couldn't bear to look away. She hugged me tightly. Daddy, tomorrow the school has a parent activity. I suddenly remembered, I had something I was busy with. But my daughter seemed to understand. It's okay if mommy isn't free, daddy coming is enough. I stroked her head. Daddy will ask mommy if she can spare some time, okay? She nodded obediently. I went back to the room and saw the divorce agreement on the table. The neat handwriting signed the name Lily. I sighed. 10 years of love finally came to an end. And perhaps, my life was also about to end. I texted Lily. Tomorrow Rihanna has a parent activity, will you go with us? I will sign the divorce agreement after that. The other side was silent. I understood everything. When signing the divorce agreement, writing my name, Thomas, my hand trembled. If I ever meet Lily again, I hope I never will. She ultimately did not reply to the message. Silence was the answer. The next day, my daughter seemed eager early on. Wearing her playful sports outfit, I took her to school. Along the way, she constantly looked around, as if searching for Lily's voice. I stroked her head, still unable to bring myself to tell the truth. A group of parents was already waiting. I held Rihanna, worried in my heart. Other children all had both parents. My daughter only had me. Would her emotional state be okay? Suddenly a voice rang out. Give her to me. Before I could even react, Rihanna's cheer rang out in my ears. Mommy is here, I knew you would come. I paused for a second, turned back to look. It was 18-year-old Lily. She wore a jacket that made her look mature, intentionally putting on makeup to look older. Her appearance both stern and like someone working in sales, and also having the demeanor of an insurance agent. She smiled, took Rihanna, and gently asked, which doll does the little princess want to choose? My daughter pointed to the panda in the middle. I want this one, but we have to win first place. Lily easily touched her nose. Mommy will definitely pass the challenge. She held Rihanna and participated in every activity. I watched them, unable to help but smile. Especially Lily with that mature look. I remembered when she first went bankrupt. We were both poor. She intentionally dressed older to earn money, just so others wouldn't look down on her for her youth. Trying to build a better future with me. Now, I saw her intentionally looking older again. But it was to give her daughter a happy childhood. My nose stung. It turned out that the person who loved me the most was still 18-year-old Lily. Watching the way she interacted with Rihanna, I couldn't help but laugh. So good, Lily. My daughter's favorite doll was already in her hands. The two of them smiling happily together. My eyes were slightly moist. Before I die, to witness this scene. Perhaps I should be grateful to God. The activity ended, I carried my daughter to say goodbye to Lily. But suddenly my vision darkened, and I felt faint. Fortunately, she helped my daughter and me. I struggled back home, took all my medication, and lay down. Today was truly exhausting. It seemed my life force was also running out. Lying helplessly in bed, I seemed to see my mother waving and calling. And still faintly heard Rihanna's calls. I tried to open my eyes, but only saw my daughter's face. Daddy, Daddy. Tears welled up, I wanted to hug her. But I couldn't, my whole body was empty. Rihanna, good girl, Daddy's here. The little girl walked up and looked at me. What's wrong, Daddy? I trembled, my lips pale. Rihanna, if Daddy has to go far away, will you forgive him? The little girl's eyes reddened. Daddy never has to worry, Daddy is the best person in the world. I looked at my daughter, wanting to remember this face forever. Still stroking her head, telling her to go back to her room to rest. I turned on the TV, the sound covered my coughing. I knew I wouldn't last much longer. I texted my close friends to pick up Rihanna. Called 112, 911, emergency equivalent, and went to the hospital. The doctors tried to save me, but it was hopeless. My vitality was gradually weakening. In my final moments, 18-year-old Lily was by my side. She was crying, murmuring, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I gently said, I don't blame you. But Lily, if you could go back to the past, would you dare to leave me at 18? It's too painful, I don't want to try again. After a long time, her hoarse voice came. All right, just agree. Because I don't want to gamble anymore either. I gently pushed Lily, signaling for her to help me retrieve the bag. She complied. I pulled a letter from the bag and handed it to her. She looked at me full of suspicion. I wanted to smile, but my face was stiff, and I only spoke in a toneless voice. This is a letter I finished after several days of thought. I hope that if you can go back, you can save as many people as possible. In any case, this is fate. At 28, you were not kind to me. But at 18, I am truly grateful to have met you. She quietly accepted the letter and turned away. I don't want you to see my final ugly appearance. Lily cried, saying, you are not ugly. But I still pushed her away. Watching her receding figure, I remembered her words. We will be happy later. The girl at that time was sincere. Regrettably, I closed my eyes forever. In the office, Lily felt extremely uncomfortable today. A pile of files needed to be processed, but she was completely distracted. And her work productivity was low. She decided to go out for a walk to relieve her mood. But unknowingly, she instinctively walked toward home. The house was empty, a gust of wind blew through, pushing the divorce agreement on the table onto the floor. She bent down to pick it up, seeing Thomas's name on it. Seeing it, her heart still ached. She told herself it must be because she hadn't rested enough recently. After all, she had divorced and escaped Thomas, hadn't she? As she held the agreement and was about to leave, someone identical to her from 10 years ago came down from the upstairs. Hey, I am you from 10 years ago. Lily found it interesting and began to chat. Her words were full of pride. She talked about how she built the company, overcame difficulties, and reversed the situation, boasting about her talent and achievements. But the girl opposite her just smiled mockingly, mentioning Thomas in every sentence, never mentioning her husband's sacrifices. Lily wanted to defend herself, but the girl from 10 years later defeated her with one move. When she woke up, Lily found herself tied to a chair, her mouth taped shut. She was angry, while the other girl just smiled, talking about Thomas's kindness. From contempt, Lily gradually fell silent, lost in thought. She recalled many memories, only those involving Thomas and her. The more the girl spoke, the more Lily became contemplative. She looked at the divorce agreement in her pocket, her heart suddenly filled with regret. The girl offered her a piece of paper, saying, leave all your assets to your biological daughter. Sign quickly. Lily wanted to resist but couldn't move. She had no choice but to sign, thinking she could amend it later. The girl looked at Lily with a mix of respect and disgust. Fortunately, in the end, Thomas was still by her side. Lily glared at the girl in front of her, but couldn't say anything. The girl quietly walked into the kitchen and turned on the gas valve. This house was where Lily and David used to meet. If it's lost, then everything is lost. The next day, two pieces of news caused a sensation. 1. The famous businesswoman Lily had died due to a gas leak at the suburban villa. Cameras recorded two people entering the house, but only one body was found at the scene. Lily left all her assets to her biological daughter. This section shifts to Lily's point of view, side story. For some unknown reason, I went back to age 17. At this time, I had not yet met Thomas. Recalling his pleading eyes before we parted, I decided I would not love him in this life. I am not afraid of loneliness, but I am afraid he will suffer again because of me. After taking the university entrance exam and filling out my application, I did not choose the university in the north. Nor did I choose finance. Previously, my dream was to take over the company. But this time, it was not. I chose to study medicine. I wanted to help more people. So I bypassed all the times I could have met Thomas. Studying and living alone. Sometimes, a few boys confessed their feelings to me. But I didn't pay any attention. I only wanted to keep my head down and read, quietly moving forward. By the time I was 22, thanks to the letter Thomas had sent the previous year, my father had avoided the conspiracies. And my family did not suffer any misfortune. Later, while studying for my master's degree, right during a critical period, thanks to my foresight, the nation avoided quite a bit of damage. My colleagues valued me even more. Due to their nomination, I was able to pursue my PhD. All of this was based on the reminders from Thomas's mental notes. But that was still not enough. I still needed to learn much more. By the age of 28, I found a drug that could cure Thomas's hereditary disease. I still wanted to confirm the drug's effectiveness. But time waited for no one. Thomas was brought before me, with a woman beside him pleading with me to save him. I did not want to take a risk. I hated myself for taking so long to find the cure. But Thomas could not wait. With all the uncertainties, I still decided to try. The other doctors comforted me. This is the only way that can succeed. Even if the probability is only 1/10. Even failure is normal. In the near future, there will definitely be success. But they didn't know that the person I wanted to save the most was Thomas. During the surgery, I was absolutely focused. I did not allow myself to fail. Finally, the surgery was a success. I felt completely exhausted. But seeing Thomas recover day by day, I was truly happy. A woman was by his side, taking care of him with all her heart. They looked like a perfect couple. Perhaps even more suitable for him than the 28-year-old me. When I was 30, Thomas brought his daughter to see me for a medical checkup. He said, "More than 30 years ago, you were the one who saved me. I trust you." I smiled and agreed. But my eyes uncontrollably welled up. Thomas's daughter no longer had dimples, but was still as beautiful as her father. After examining his daughter, I wearily dragged myself to a university basketball court. This was the first place I met Thomas. The sunset was so beautiful. Beautiful just like Thomas. Perhaps, this choice is the best for both of us.